Sola Scriptura. It is one of the 5 heart cries of the Protestant Reformation since the 16th century. What does Sola Scriptura mean? Sola Scriptura means Bible alone. What does Bible alone mean? It is Scripture, or the verses of Scripture, the details of Scripture, the 66 books in our Bible that is central rather than theology. Theology is good. I mean, the theological statements, particularly pertaining to the Trinity and the evangelical confessions of faith that have been passed on through the centuries, help us to know what the central things that we believe regarding who God is, who Jesus is, human sin, the need for Jesus' substitutionary atonement, the assurance of salvation, the fact that Jesus is coming back a second time, the nature of the church, and so on and so on and so on. But the great need of today is that we need to go back to the Bible, and starting with church leadership, we need to know the verses of Scripture in its detail so that we can teach our people thoroughly what the Apostle Paul says in Acts chapter 20, the whole counsel of God. And we need it more than ever because there are so many ideas in our day because of the progress of society and civilization, with information explosion, the internet, the global village, that we're all connected with each other. And many cities are multicultural. And so we have all these ideas, all these different people, and not to mention life choices. There's a lot of choices to be made in the modern West today. And so pastors need to know the verses. And when we teach our people, we need to, in our mind, or perhaps sometimes even in conversation in our teaching, cite our references. And oftentimes I try to make that a practice. It's incredibly difficult to do, of course, because you need to know the verses well, you need to know the details. I don't think necessarily you need to know how to quote like every single verse. Obviously, that's basically practically impossible because the Bible is a big book. But at least the central things that we want to communicate to our people, we need to know the details of it. We need to know the verse reference, or at least we have it handy so that we can point our people to it. Because at the end of the day, where is our authority? Where should be the authority of our people when we teach them? Well, it should be back to the Bible and the verses themselves, not our summary of the Bible. And so, brother pastors, we need to go back to the Scriptures. If you're a pastor or a church leader listening, we need to go back to the verses of Scripture. We need to learn how to interpret it. That is a great need for today. That's why I have my exegetical workshops in my channel. That is a resource to you all. So let's go back to the Bible. Sola Scriptura.